Okay, guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. We don't expect Dev may cameo, but she is scheduling this week. Air, I want you to talk so we can make sure they can hear you.
It's me on the show. Nobody joins on the show when they come at me after me on Twitter. The heck? They only do it when they come after Mark.
I don't know. It's nice when it's someone else getting like whacked because sometimes you'd almost think I'm making it up, minus how stupid it gets sometimes. And I saw people attacking. I'm just like, I don't understand.
the
Like,
thing is, it was only two people. It
oh,
was one.
oh
It
man,
was
there was a
only
lot of that was just two. All those
that
tweets.
was just two people. One of them blocked me and then started coming at me from his sock account. But that was the same person. And then there was another guy that was just agreeing with everything he said.
But that's like the weird thing because we've talked back and forth for a long time. We aren't necessarily trying to convince the other person to agree with us. We generally understand what each other's opinions are, even when we disagree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
And I'm
yeah,
like, it's like you're coming into my space expecting to wear me down. I'm like, I can do this all day. It's like
yeah,
I'm capable of making rational arguments. Like this is
yeah.
what I do.
Yeah, and that's literally what we do on the show, where we often disagree on stuff, but we aren't like trying to beat each other down to make the other person go, "Well, maybe you have a point and a right." I mean, you don't like the show. That's not
I had a
going to
in
change.
college. I had a literary criticism essay that was so good it paid for a convention once.
I was in a debate class, and my final was literally a Superman presentation, and the teacher had no familiarity with Superman, and she gave me an A.
I had in college once I had this one professor who was when he was assigned a term paper to everybody, he's like, by the way, I'm a really hard grader. I do not give A's. I don't I'm
Oh,
and then
yeah, I've
and then
had
I
that
got an
type of
A. Yeah.
yeah, I've had that type of person before.
Perfect score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he also ridiculed my concept as when I pitched it to him. He's like, "Oh, you're going to be one of those arguments." Okay. And then I fucking crushed it.
Okay, you ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the WtW podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a little while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, around with the will.
I'm AR Palver, Digimon System Restore.
And Dev has scheduling issues, so she may pop up. She requested that I still do it in the room we use where she can join at will, so we'll see if at one point we'll just hear Dev's voice out of the ether.
I hope you, after I introduce myself, you're just gonna have this really weird, awkward silence for a second or two as we realize Dev isn't here.
See, the problem is that happens at the end of the show sometimes, where I wonder if when we're saying bye, if someone's been disconnected or not when I'm waiting. So,
The magic of live audio.
yes. I'm trying to decide if it was a tiring week, but it wasn't long, but it was tiring, at least for me. How
I
are you
mean,
doing, Air?
it's a vacation week, a holiday weekend for me, so
Yeah.
I'm great. Like I have one day of work tomorrow, 3-day weekend last week, one day of work this tomorrow, and then I'm off till the end of the week because I'm going on vacation. So I'm great.
Uh,
I don't know what your problem is.
bourgeoisie. But yeah, yeah, so Dev may pop up, she might not, but it's been an interesting week for Digimon news. It's been like up and down and uh, very
Consequential
strange
stuff.
week. Yeah.
We definitely have consequential stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start with AR's favorite subject, Digimon Adventure, episode 55, the Digimon School Under Attack.
I mean, at this point, it's just sort of rolling along. Like we know what it is by now, so it's pretty.
This
It's
is a
not that
good
hard
one, at
to.
least,
It's
though.
not. Was it? It
Yeah,
was
this was
just
a
sort
fun
of.
one. This
This
was
was
a
just
fun
sort of
one.
okay. This was another one that was just sort of okay for me.
See, I think this is where you're getting overall so upset with the show that the fun, stupid ones aren't amusing you anymore. Because this was a
It's
good fun.
more.
This was a good,
It's not
fun,
that
stupid
I'm
one.
not even that upset with the show.
Well,
It's
no,
just
when
sort of okay. I mean, it's sort of in Hunter's mode for me, where it's like,
I don't
okay,
mean
it's just gonna be.
upsetting like raging. I mean like ugh, this.
See, the thing is, I guess I have higher expectations for Mimi in particular because Mimi has that personality that when she brings it, it can elevate an episode single
Oh,
handedly.
this was a
And
fun episode.
this one just she didn't bring her personality in the way she usually does in
It's
this
yeah, it's
episode.
a bit weird, especially since the show it also didn't quite deal with the main like issue that came up where like they said like we get Babamon and Gigimon who are both kind of delightful in the episode,
Hmm.
but there's an weird oddity with Babamon is they never actually deal with that. They say that's not how she normally acts, and they sort of don't deal with that.
It's almost like she had one method of instruction that led to Bancho Mamemon, and
And
then
then she
she
became
changed
super
her.
strict.
Yeah, it's like, is that supposed to make people better?
But then, like the way Bancho Mamemon's acting, it's like she's acting the same way she always has. It's
Kind
like
of.
they, and then after it's dealt with, it's just kind of continue. It's a bit strange. Like I'm amused by the character, but the setup's kind of strange because there's seemingly no difference to her before or after, at least as far as detailing goes.
It feels that way. Like I would completely understand that Bancho Mamemon got the way he was if Babamon's training was the way it was towards Mimi.
Yeah,
Like
but
if
we're
she was instructing Mimi that way, I could absolutely see something like Bancho Mamemon
oh no,
happening.
absolutely, because
And
that is
but the
yeah.
implication is that she adjusted
Yes,
somehow to
is that
become
she
even
became
more
strict.
strict and intolerant to the point where even Mimi was like, "F this, I'm out of here."
Yeah,
Which
it
is
was
like,
strange.
and the fact is that it's just very confusing motives why Mimi would want to, like, I'm just gonna tough it out just because. Which,
Yeah.
like, okay, she's capable of doing that, but what is she learning in just sticking this out? Like, is she getting
Well,
stronger? Because like she's already strong.
well, the one thing they could have done, they actually didn't, which is that Mimi's kind of not used to not getting her own way, kind of by pluck or by luck.
Hmm.
Like this Mimi, everything kind of just happens how she wants it to.
Yeah, which
Like she,
is
yeah,
yeah.
and this time it doesn't, and they sort of don't deal with that, which is a bit strange because even like a single mention from someone of things not ending up the way you want them to would have worked.
And which is doubly a problem for me because, we are talking about trying to figure out what everyone's crests mean, and if we are talking about sincerity or being genuine or however you want to translate Mimi's crest, sucking it up and going along with something that is a clearly be with a harm that is clearly being done to her doesn't seem consistent with her crest attribute.
See, I think it can be dealt with how she's acting. She's acting that way to try to help someone, despite it's a sincerity of spirit. I would say I'm okay. I'm okay enough with that, but it could have been handled better. I'm okay with it being her toughing something out because she's trying to whatever.
But that's not really what
Oh, I'm not saying
her
it is.
crest is all really about. Is like
I'm
it's not
saying
about helping people. It's about being true to herself and
and her but
her
here's the thing,
participating in all of
I'm
this.
saying that can fit. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it can fit well, but her trying to help someone despite, for lack of a better phrase, diminishing herself does fit into that niche.
but
I'm
again,
not saying it fits well, but
if that's what they were going for, again,
oh,
they
it's not
didn't
explained well,
really
even if
communicate
it
that in
is.
the episode at
I'm
all.
just saying I can see it that way. I'm not saying it was explained well or at all.
Yeah, so it's a really awkward episode for her to get her ultimate evolution simply because it doesn't feel like she learned anything or progressed to a point where now suddenly she can do it. Like it feels like she already had that ability
Well, it
and she
also
could have
doesn't
busted that out any time and this was just the situation that called for it.
it also doesn't help with okay, so does Mimi have the crest, or was that just a crest reaction? Koshiro definitely popped up and said shit, which he hadn't before.
Yeah.
But like, is she further along than Sora, who's clearly looking for stuff? Is she at the same point as Sora? What about Yamato and Taichi.
It's also, I mean, the other question is, what is Mimi going to do from here? Is she going to disappear, or is she going to join Taichi, hopping around randomly, butting in on everyone else's adventures?
I will say I
Like,
like
where
the
does
way
Mimi?
I like the way they butted in this week, where they at one point they're just there and the show kind of just moves on from dealing with it. That was actually amusing to me.
It's almost like the show treating that as a running gag.
Well, it kind
It's
of
like,
is.
oh yep, Taichi's here now.
They're the main characters in a show that people take as having 16 main characters.
Well, it doesn't have 16 main characters. It has two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Taichi
that's
and
the
Agumon.
that's another problem entirely.
See, I'm not super bothered with that idea, except the show has never framed it well enough to work. Like here's the
Right.
thing. If it wants to have the main duo and then the 14 secondary third level characters, I'm not bothered by that. It just has to do it better. Like
Yeah,
I'm
and
okay. I'm okay with it if it's done well. It's just not being done well because
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
because
it's
you know
one of
what
the
it
things
is.
that.
You know,
Hmm?
I figured out finally. I just figured out how to explain it. 100% Taichi's supposed to be the main character of this show.
Yes.
Here's the flaw, though. Someone, it could be a writer, it could be executive. I don't care who. It doesn't necessarily matter. Is going now. Look here. There's a Lilymon toy on shelves right fucking now. There's a there's a Zudomon toy on shelves. There's 8 main duos. And they're like, well, no, Ty's the lead in the show. 8.
Mhm.
8.
Yeah, it's not an adventure reboot if you don't have all 8 kids, and that I think is the only reason why we have
Yeah,
16 characters.
basically,
If
yes.
they could have gotten if they thought they could have gotten away with it, it would have just been Taichi and Agumon and whoever else jumps in. It'd be like kind of V Tamer style where it is primarily Taichi Agumon and then maybe some other kids will
Yeah,
pop in at some point.
yes.
You'll
If they
get
could, if they
you
could
can
have
have
gone,
Ray Saiba, it's okay.
yeah, if they could have gone away with that, they would have.
Yeah.
It feels like that to well
And
both
I
of
wish
us.
they would have tried that because I think that would be a lot better.
Well, it would have been better basically because they keep splitting stuff so that everyone has their whether it's good or not, everyone has their day. When
Mhm.
in theory, if it was just, Tai Chi and maybe a couple characters off to the side, we might get more personality, which might work a lot better.
Absolutely, there's no way you'd be able to get around giving Taichi,
Yeah.
personality. Like, you'd have to
Yeah.
have a character that way.
Yeah. And then we have Bancho Mamemon, which he was actually really fun in the episode, I thought. As little
Yeah,
as
he's
he
okay.
actually showed up. I like they did the aura I can never do it correctly, but they did that very well.
Yep.
Oddly, people seemed very upset that like Babamon was able to fight Bancho Mamemon, and I don't know why.
That's a weird complaint.
Oh,
Babamon's
I saw multiple people like, how could the old woman fight against the young,
Babamon's
strong?
ultimate, isn't she?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she,
didn't that didn't bat an eye
no,
at all. Like, yeah, of
no,
course that
not at all.
Babamon.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's a
and
weird.
hey, look, Koshiro's alive.
I forgot he existed, honestly.
To be fair though, you're not allowed to complain about that, and I can explain why. Because if they were having him pop up every episode like
No,
that,
yeah,
you'd be
that's not
pissed.
a I'm not complaining about that at
Yeah.
all.
Oh, I know.
It's
I'm just
just
saying. I'm just getting ahead of that.
no,
Um.
with no docked points
Yeah.
for not throwing
Yeah.
in Koshiro where he isn't
I'd.
warranted. And this is a situation where,
Yeah.
yeah, probably should
Yeah. But
try
yeah.
to get some explanation of what's going on, even though he doesn't seem to know either.
Yeah. I would say for a fun episode, this one hit right. But the problem is it doesn't feel like we should be doing fun episode after fun episode right now. Is the main issue I have.
Yeah, that's another problem. Like, it's just it
Like,
is this fun after fun wears you down as much as plot
see,
after plot.
and this is where I kind of have the instant cheat. Is I'm watching tons of stuff in between these.
Mhm.
Where and a lot of shows have been more serious lately that I've been working on, so it has been very easy to slide into a chair and go, "Oh, fun," which
Mhm.
is to the show's benefit, at least in my case, to be fair. But yeah, it's a good fun episode. And what's weird is as good as the Rosemon stuff was, I don't really have much to say about Rosemon. Like, it's exactly as
What she
expected.
should have been.
Well, you need to clarify that because there's 10 different things people think should have happened in this episode.
I mean, well, I'm not gonna say that was what should have been. Like
Okay,
she
good.
was
Okay,
like that was an episode. It was that was episode where they decided Mimi was gonna have her
okay.
ultimate
You
evolution,
just
and
mean Ro. Okay,
she had her ultimate evolution and kicked Bob Bancho Mamimon's ass. That
okay.
was, and they had some
You just mean
rough parts
Rosemon
for
should
it.
have been more exciting, basically.
I mean, I don't know what she was. What she should have been was that's not a complaint.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No, that's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was fine.
I like the episode. There's a lot of. The problem is it's more fun to see Mimi run around and act funny than Mimi running around and acting funny because someone's poking at her with a stick is
Hmm.
probably the main issue with this one.
Yeah, it just does. I it's more fun when Mimi's the lady boss. Like when
Yeah,
she's being
when
pushed
she's the
around a
one
little bit,
causing
she's
when she's the one causing the problems, for lack of a better phrase.
right, right. It's like
Yeah,
it's more fun when she's in
yeah.
charge, and that's
And the funny
what
part is
my
she kept
big issue with
trying
it.
to. That is one thing I did like is she kept trying to explain what was going on, and then she just get like the broom
And
shoved in her
that's
face.
which is another thing. Like that it's like this is being really like Mimi's been so business savvy has been one of her things, and yet she signs this contract that locks her up for 3 days, and she has apparently no recourse.
To be fair, she could have just left and she didn't. Like,
Yeah, and honestly, like, why are you complaining? Like, this
just
is
leave.
yeah, just leave.
Babamon has shit to do. It's not like she's gonna come after you. She has a school
Right.
to teach.
She's not
And he
sending the
and here's
guard.
the and
She's
here's
not
the other
sending the
thing.
guard Lalamon after
No,
you.
and that's the funny thing is Digimon wasn't even trying to stop them. He tried to explain so they wouldn't
Hmm.
leave.
Yeah.
Like, he made no actual attempt to stop them. It was just trying to explain it. Yeah.
It's like, and like, what is Mimi? Like, Mimi's been beaten up all day, and now it's like, oh, if we leave now, it might hurt Babamon's feelings. Like, really?
Yeah. But she was
Yeah.
sincere about it.
Was she? That's like,
And then next week we get the Gold Wolf of the Crescent Moon. Friendship,
you
I
know,
guess. Friendship.
hmm?
Friendship, I guess.
Well, no, I mean, Yamato's already got his ultimate, so I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
I know we're getting.
but they need the little symbol to float around on top of the Digivice to make people feel better.
Hmm. It's an opportunity for Kojiro potentially to explain it a little bit more, and also a potential for them
I
to
like that you
see if
still
we
have.
have any. It's also a potential to see if there is sort of any mechanic that we're
See,
supposed to understand about
see,
alternate evolutions.
that's proof that you hate yourself. You're sitting here going like, well, it's a chance for Koshiro to explain things. Do we really think that's going to happen at this point? I mean, I suppose it has to at some point, but.
Keep confusing this for a competent series, but I have to keep my mind open somehow.
And then we have.
The problem with being a reviewer.
And then we have the fifth ED, Dreamers by a Tease. This is a weird one. Like, the song's good. The song doesn't really match like the energy of the end themes up to this point, though. It
It's a good song though. Like
oh no,
this is just
oh no, I'm not complaining about the song. I'm saying the end themes up to now have generally been peppy. Might be the wrong word. They've been
it.
energetic,
It
and this one,
reminds me a lot of Perfect World, the last Atmon ending. Like if this
yeah,
is
yeah, I'd
this
say
is
you're right.
sort of like the last ending. Like I'm in kind of I look back to Perfect World and go,
Oh,
yeah, this is that same vibe.
I like how you think that's what the last ending's gonna be. Come on, we both know what it's
I,
gonna be.
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what you know what the last song we're gonna hear on this fucking show is.
I
I have.
do, yeah. But
It's gonna be fucking Butterfly. We know it.
yeah, yes, but I'm talking about endings. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, the song was
yeah.
nice. The animation was weird. So I don't actually like the pseudo puppet tween. Tweening the anim.
Hmm.
I actually like that. But then the weird thing is the intersplicing like the evolution footage when some of it's Not really evolution footage. I don't hate it, but it was kind of weird, I thought. Although I did
It's
like it.
very it's kind of basic.
Yeah. It was from the director of Tamers, after all. And of course, your favorite Digimon series, Hunters.
I am starting to gain a new appreciation for hunters after what we've been going through this season.
Yeah. And of course, everyone who has not been paying attention to the brand was like, does this mean we're going to see Ophanimon and Serapimon? It's like, please pay attention. They went out of their way to tell us the evolutions the other episode were not normal. That
Mhm.
tells us normal ones will show up, and we know who those are. Plus
Yeah.
Omegamon.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
that's
there's not there's no secrets here.
no, yeah. And now we get the surprise of the week, which is more Digimon animation. So let's start with what this was. Basically, a kind of like the wholesaling to the retailers, case for gotcha toys, and six of them, 300 yen cases are 400, but kind of doesn't matter for our purposes. But the title is where it gets weird. It's one because October is theoretically after the magical 66 episodes, and the text that follows it is basically the equivalent of successor or follow-on program. Now, here's the thing: if it were a TV guide, and to be fair, Jeff from Podja just pointed this out, that's the type of term you would use for any show that would take over for one. Except this isn't like generic text. This is on a product that
So
retailers are
on a
buying.
Digimon toy advertisement.
Yes. This is retailers deciding what to buy, and you don't fuck with them when they're doing that because that
It
affects
is
you long term.
it is saying one that this is for whatever comes after
Yes.
Digimon Adventure, and two, it's going to be something Digimon.
Yes.
Put
It
two one and one together
yeah.
here.
Yeah, so basically, by the time of October or in October, a new Digimon anime is quote unquote starting. I say quote
Yes.
unquote starting because we don't know what this is. It could simply be adventure changing titles. It could be a completely different Digimon series. It could be it is some sort of Digimon anime that will be starting in the next few months or continuing. Like I don't have any doubt on that. I think there's lots of arguments you could make as to what it will be, but we don't
Mhm.
actually have any information. The fact that they left the adventure title in there, in and of itself, may be a clue, or at least it feels like
Yeah,
saying it
it's
to
you
me.
got it's probably gonna be adventure related. That's about as far as you can go.
Semicolon.
Yeah, find a different punctuation mark this time.
Hey, I hope that it's a subtitle change because then the colon works. I
Yeah,
mean,
if
I
they
mean,
did colon something else.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, we've gone over in depth why the colon doesn't matter, using it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I
It's
would
still fun to make
100%
fun of.
love like if they have the colon there and then there's an actual subtitle to it. I'd be very happy about that.
Or colon followed by an exclamation point.
Yeah. So hey, shows have done that. So
Go colon forward slash forward slash
.html.
dot html.
Yeah. So I don't think either of us have any doubt that this means that come October there will still be some sort of Digimon anime running.
It does mean that they are gonna have some sort of a resolution to the current arc
Well,
at
no, it
686.
doesn't
I
necessarily.
I mean it at the very least
I've
it'll
seen
be
plenty of
like
shows have title changes when it doesn't need it, and they just wanted they could literally go with Digimon Adventure, the
let me
the
finish. Let
journey
me
to the
finish.
crests. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let me finish. What I mean by that is it could be something as simple as like episode 30 of Cross Wars where Taiki got kicked out of the digital world and then went back in the digital world and that marked the beginning of a new season. That that
See,
that
s-
could be all we're talking
see,
about here, but
I don't even think it has to be that large. There are plenty of shows that just change titles at one point.
usually there's some sort of
There usually is. I'm
there's
just
some
saying.
sort of a transition.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm just saying it's not a necessity to do that, even though it would be normal.
Yeah, I
It
I
does
would
create an
highly
issue though.
expect.
It does create
What
an
was that?
issue though. The people who were 100% sure that 66 number meant the end of the show have to decide, does that mean that 66 was indeed just a sales number and the show's doing well enough to continue, or the 66 number was accurate and the show's done so well they've decided to do more?
Wait, isn't that the same thing?
No, it's slightly different because one, you can say it's not an out and out success, it's just good enough to keep that they to not cancel. While the other means they're specifically doing more that they didn't plan to do.
Yeah, tomato, tomato. Honestly, for me,
Eh,
then like it's I do. I mean, it does lend kind of credence to the whole 66 thing, though. Like I still think it does.
but here's the thing, that could just mean that, like we said, it was a sales number. They've hit that
Yeah,
number and they're changing the title for marketing purposes. It doesn't mean the show was intended to end at 66. It just means that's what they were selling at the time.
yeah. It's I don't know.
Yeah,
It does seem that
so we'll see. But in
either way, it's a pretty obvious stopping point for my reviews. Like I can kind of like okay, that's the point. I can say that now. When they switch over, I'm done.
what do you do if there's no actual stopping point and it's just a title change? Do you still stop?
If they're treating it as a title change, that's good enough for me.
Okay.
And if they do it right in the middle of an episode and episode 66 is random filler, that's their problem.
I don't know. I think that
Hey, at the very least, we'll probably get a new opening.
yeah. Well, that actually has to do with a question later. So we will see what pops up here. In short, though, circa October, November, December, I would expect to still be watching Digimon.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then we finally have covers for Blu-ray and DVD box 4. I actually really like all this except one character does not look right in this to me. TK's mouth looks really fucking weird to me here.
Which one? The top ones?
Yeah. Like TK's mouth, it's like a bit too. It's
It's
like they
very
wanted to give.
smirky.
Yeah.
I wish I could not, describe that face because I've seen it before.
It's sort of like they
It's
started to draw him with a small smile, but then they stretched the mouth down. It's weird.
it's not quite DreamWorks face.
But yeah, so that's episode 37 to 48. It will be out September 3rd. And hey, they finally kind of put up the right bromide prints. And they're from episodes that appear in the set. They're not necessarily good images, but they're
Yeah,
images.
they're awfully generic. I
Well,
could not tell you which episodes those were from.
oh, I actually think I know both of them. The first one is the Monzemon the theme
Yeah, that
park,
makes sense. Yeah.
and the second one it's the Pedaldramon one.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see that the background.
Oh, I didn't even notice the berries.
Yeah, that kind of
Okay, yeah, I didn't
gives
even
that
notice that.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, so these are coming, and interestingly, that would have box 5 end at episode 60 unless they add a third disc or do something. So we'll see what happens there. Because even if 66 is the intent, they kind of gave themselves weird numbers for the discs. So I'm curious to see what they do about that. Because they do like their even numbers.
You don't need the last 6 episodes because it's filler anyway.
Hey, I want Olive Cross on Blu-ray. They still haven't.
So they can package the 6 episodes with the Cross Wars Blu-ray then.
Uh, and then Felice Sampler passed. And yeah,
Yeah, that's
I don't have too much to say because
is kind of a
everyone
surprise.
it was, um, especially since it was kind of just like finding it randomly during the day was the weird part.
Yeah, it's also weird that it came from soap opera Twitter,
Well, no, it came from a friend of hers
and
who she worked with on
yeah,
a soap opera, and soap opera sites just noticed it before most anime
mhm.
people did.
Yeah, I didn't even know that aspect of her career, which now I feel
Yeah.
bad about.
Well, I remember it came up in interviews. She always thought she'd be asked back for, an anniversary thing or whatever.
Hmm, mhm.
And he even mentioned in, I think it was on his Instagram, that he's kind of annoyed that she never was, because
Yeah,
that was always something she was looking forward to.
mhm.
Um, yeah, and then
Especially the whole soap opera thing,
yeah,
people come and go and
yeah, and then lots of anime actors chiming in about how much she helped people when they were starting out,
mhm.
and
And it's in Digimon especially, just appreciating that she was able to do 2 completely different characters in Mimi and Cody.
well, even more
Like,
than
that's
those.
and yeah, but
But yeah,
the
those are
2
the ones people know.
major but yeah, those are the 2
Well,
major
wouldn't
characters, and she
wouldn't
did them so and
Nanami
she did
count as
both
major, or major-ish, I guess?
who?
She was one of the bio ones in Data Squad, wasn't she?
No, no.
Mm,
Oh,
okay,
oh,
I'm
you
thinking of the
mean
wrong name then.
Nanami. I didn't have to check on that, but I'd have to check on that, but definitely would not consider that as major
I,
as
I don't
Mimi
I
or
don't I
Cody.
don't I don't remember Data Squad quite as well as the other ones.
Yeah, not in voice actors, but yeah, just having I think that she probably exemplifies her range
Yeah.
well, like just saying Mimi and Cody. Oh yeah, she did do Nanami.
Okay,
I
that's what I
never
thought.
noticed that.
Well, she was also Catherine and Anna. At one
Mhm.
point in one episode, she filled in as Palmon. I think it was literally like one line.
Mhm. But yeah, just that's incredible range.
Yeah.
Especially because she's Mimi and Cody in the same series.
Yeah.
Like
And
that's
oh yeah,
just
you
remarkable.
can't tell it's the same person.
I couldn't tell until it was actually an episode of Miraculous Ladybug where the character she was voicing had elements of both of them. And I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
She plays I think she plays the teacher in Miraculous Ladybug. And that had you can actually kind of pick out little bits of Mimi and little bits of Cody in the way she voices that character.
Yeah. But yeah, so oh, and Matt and TK's grandma. That was the there's
Yes.
there's lots of bit ones, like a one,
Yes.
like she was Jerry
That's
in the
not
one movie, but
I
the
would almost
grandma.
consider that a major one. Are you
Well,
selling
I'd
ties?
say that's major enough for the movie because that's one of the
It's
ones everyone remembers.
maybe it's not major, but it's
Y-
iconic.
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then from that, hey, it's the 11th anniversary of Cross Wars. I like Cross Wars, and I really do want Blu-rays to show up at some point.
I definitely have a bigger appreciation for Cross Wars of watching Adventure because Cross Wars is what Adventure is trying to do. Like Cross Wars is doing like
No,
that's what they
I'm
go
not
for
sure
if
I
they
agree
just
with
want.
that, but it's definitely taking some inspiration from it, I would say.
It definitely is
And
taking
cast.
inspiration from Cross Wars, but yeah, oh for sure. But Cross Wars, I think, executed it far better, just as far as having that just sit back and enjoy the combination of cool
Yes.
action and cool nostalgia. And honestly, the characters are memorable even if they're not particularly deep.
Yeah, I like the Cross Wars characters in general.
Mm-hmm. They're good kids. They're
Yeah.
not the deepest, but we love them anyway.
We need Blu-rays with an audio drama of nonsense.
We just need an audio drama or yeah, we just a follow-up of Cross Wars for any reason.
Yeah.
You've
So
got half the cast is in the reboot, so you could probably get most of them pretty quickly.
or has at least cameoed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like, because they all have levels now, so Cross Wars stuff is showing up. But it does feel like it's time for Blu-ray, because that's one that we didn't even get DVDs when it was new because of that rental deal.
Mhm.
And like those had all new covers and everything, like you would expect for a fancy home video release. Everything had new art. but rental exclusives because it was one of those that the rental I don't remember what the actual name is, but like the Rental Store Association of Japan paid for exclusivity because
Okay.
Digimon
Mhm.
still sells a lot on home video, and back then a lot more.
Well,
And
I have
then
Fusion on DVDs, so
yeah, but
I'm
that's
good.
DVD. DVD's sad.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then Digimon Calendar, not too much of a surprise here, except we apparently get two different limited base pop up shops this month. One opens on the 17th in Nagoya, and Nagoya doesn't have a limited base store anymore. So, with that one only being 2 weeks, I kind of wonder if that's going to be one of those weird pop up locations that opens for something at some other event. And then the three pop up theaters will get some sort of store starting July 30th through September 29th. It feels like there's there's three different themes I could see popping up for this one. Actually, four now that I think about it. It could be
Mhm.
the current show up through the end of it, through whatever retitle or whatever.
Sure.
Some sort of Kazuna O2 themed store because
Mm,
they have the
yeah. Yeah, they
O2
got
stuff showing up at
the
DigiFes.
CDs are coming out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It could be Tamer's anniversary themed, although we just had the Tamer's anniversary pop up shop, so I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm
sure.
not as
Yeah.
convinced
And
on that one.
as much as this is not my thing, they've kind of dicked around Savers fans this year because this is an anniversary year for Savers, and Savers has gotten kind of nothing.
Is that how they'd announce it though? Just pop up a random
No, I'm saying just doing
Savers
like
thing.
a Tamer's it's 15, right?
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
they'd be more build up for that.
See, but here's the thing: the build-up could start 2 weeks earlier when they announce a gem, and they'll say it will be on display at DigiFest because they said
Mm,
because
yeah,
they
maybe.
more than hinted they were going to do Rise Greymon because it ranked highly in that one poll years ago.
Mhm.
So I could see
But is
something.
that something you announce before DigiFest or at
Oh no,
DigiFest?
no, no, no! I'm saying they could announce that they're doing some sort of Savers figure and it will be on display at DigiFest
See, yeah,
because they've
I
done
think
that
that
sort of thing before,
the time to to introduce the hype for Sabers would be at DigiFest,
and
and then
also
do
Blu-rays.
some things, yes, obviously,
Yeah,
and
oh
then
yeah.
do some stuff afterwards, maybe like in July before. I'm not
So what
quite
you're
as
saying, so what you're
convinced.
saying is it's going to be an adventure pop-up shop, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, that seems about
I'm
right.
realistic.
Yeah, that feels about right.
I hope it's a good one.
Yep. It does tend to have nice art, although it either has really nice art or it has the art where we all kind of go, "This is really nice show quality art, but it would have been nice if they did something else."
Yeah, it does have a tendency to be a little generic,
Yeah.
especially when you're comparing it to some of the Tamers art we've been
Well,
getting
no, especially
lately.
the try one pop-up shops. They tend to have
Oh
them doing
yeah, yeah, for sure.
they have them doing fun dynamic things. And
Yeah,
Adventure's fallen into the hole of being the active show and
yeah,
being aimed at kids, so they're going with more, hey, you can recognize this from the show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yawn.
And then Digimon Classroom goes over the drawing contest that the Wonder School's currently doing. We've brought up Wonder School a number of times the past year. They're the ones um, where they showed off that app and stuff. Where they partnered with them to put the Digimon stuff in that one teaching app and the coloring contest and stuff. And the contest this time is basically draw the Digimon and or the kids. And I like how the Digimon class they did their own. The Takaru and Patamon one's very nice. The Gabumon one's the greatest drawing of all time, with like the weird chin, and he's got like the fist. I love that Gabumon. It's the anti Gabu, where like Gabu's extra rounded and everything, and this is like an angry whatever.
I'm not gonna nitpick a kid's Gabumon drawing.
Except this is his Gabumon drawing. This isn't a kid's.
Okay, I'm not gonna I'm not
This
gonna
is
nitpick
this is the
that
host.
guy's.
Yeah,
Like someone asked me to draw Gabumon on the spot, I'd probably do even worse.
yeah. You just wouldn't have to pull it up on video to be distributed for everyone.
That would
And
be a Patreon
yeah,
account goal.
and that and then we go back to Nakano Broadway where they are doing their summer sale guide and Kazuna's on the cover.
Is that just a random thing that Nakano Broadway just does quarterly or whatever? That they just put a random anime on the cover and
Not always, but they've also pointed out on Twitter that this one's kind of been flying off faster and they're going to be gone soon. They've already in 3 days they gave away more than 1,000. So adventure fans showing up for shit again. If you ever want to know why it always has to be adventure, it's because you slap adventure on it and shit just happens. Although I kind of wonder if this was like planned for last year, because this would
that
have,
would make a lot of sense.
because in theory,
Yeah.
a few months after the theatrical release, this would have been right as they were starting home
Starting
video, or
to
right
ramp up
as home
promotion
video
for
would have
the
come out without the
yeah.
delays. It
Yeah.
feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Was Nakano Broadway even open last year?
If it was, it would have been not,
Not something you'd give away summer guides for. You wouldn't like
probably
promote it
not.
or anything.
Yeah. Although who knows? The problem is we'd have to track that. We'd have to look back a year ago at Nakano Broadway
I'm
stuff and
not
try to find.
gonna
Yeah, I'm not doing
I'm
that
not gonna
either.
do that.
Yeah, we're just assuming that it's from past last year.
Get the
Yeah,
Cyber Sleuth gang on top of that. They can research that.
yeah, but the problem is then they get caught up with
Oh
the
wait,
Survive gang and take 3 or 4 years.
they're all working remotely.
And then we have card game stuff. The normal cards really are kind of beyond boring at this point, don't you think?
Yeah.
So we get the normal ones. The posters nice, but nothing that shocking with the poster. Um, the parallel cards having the old card backgrounds are nice. The Tyrannomon one being themed after the VPET packaging is actually really clever. Although they really should have stuck the CGI Tyrannomon on there because it would have looked.
It would have looked a lot better.
The problem is, I wonder if they may not just not want to use that render whenever possible, just because it looks kind of
I don't
goofy.
blame them, but it'd be a nice throwback.
Oh no, absolutely. And then we get we saw the first Analog Boy card from V Jump, and then the second one, both by Kenji Watanabe. The second one I think is much better to me at least. Like the first one, he's kind of falling, but not really. In the second one, we get all the Digimon on it. We get the Metal Greymon. I really like that art. We get the Numamon in the corner because Kenji Watanabe loves Numamon. We get the weird Devimon standing in the background, like ready to not do anything. And then we got the announcement of the memorial collections. I actually like these. So first for adventure, we get like artsy cards of all 8, very artsy, in like a minimal colory
Hmm. Yeah.
with everyone with sweets. And then for tamers, we got one where there is no official theme, but it's stuff from the PS1 and Game Boy and Wonder Swan Game Boy fighting games, which is an interesting theme. Yeah, the Tamers trio all appear to be based on the original one was Battle Evolution, or was that the sequel? Rumble Arena one we'll go with, and then the Impmon and Leomon cards are from Battle Spirits. And
Okay.
it's just kind of amusing because Leomon has taken the place of Sukamon because that's the character select screen, and Sukamon was a choosable character where Chumon was there with him. So they've gone with Leomon. I actually like these. Um, yeah, 2,000 yen's a bit pricey, but I guess this is like a display piece more than
Yeah.
playing with them. Then we get a bunch of English card previews. Nothing that shocking with the English previews, because like last time we kind of got a surprise with the Digi Battle theme card. Although, can we say we said it last time? Look at that Alteris mode card and the font.
Yeah.
They're
Mm,
I
mm,
feel like at that point it might be better to shrink it and have it be 2 layer, because
yeah.
yeah, at that point they're like,
Ooh, boy.
yeah, they're desperately trying. Yeah, see, it hasn't been too long since we saw these cards, but they still look nice. And hey, look, Bancho Lilymon. See, everyone was like, "Oh,
See,
we'll
she
get to."
shows up somewhere.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, we'll get to see Bancho Lilymon last week." AR, and Dev were all like, I don't think
No,
so." Look, Bancho
no.
Lilymon's right there, and look, right next
That
to
would have
her
been
is Rosemon.
especially bad if they
Oh, that would have
with
been
the plot
fucking
line they
terrible with
ran
that
with.
theme. That would have been
Oh my
fucking
god, that would have
horrible.
been the worst.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah. After watching that,
Babamon changes her instruction to not get
yeah,
bonchos, and she ends up
yeah.
getting a boncho.
After watching that episode, if you thought, "Oh, they stole Bancho Lilymon from us," then you did not watch the episode
No,
properly.
you
I,
really missed the
yeah,
point.
yeah. Then we got the new co-host introduction for Fun Digica, which they'll be starting those up again soon. They kind of went on a break with them a while back, so we'll see what pops up. They're still using the same background, so I would assume it's going to continue on as it was. Card Battle had more matches. I Someone needs to tell me what the fuck the theme is, because it looks like the theme is 2 teams against 1, but they're the same they since they introduced that theme last episode, I can't tell if there's actually a theme or if it's just like artsy. So I don't know. We'll find out. And then we got poll results where everyone decided to give their bad take after the fact.
Oh god.
Yeah. Megadramon won. Then next
Hmm.
we had Quinglongmon, Holy and Godramon. And the general theme based on the rankings is people banded together to vote for Megadramon and Quinlongmon.
Really? Is that what they're? I think
That's what
people
I
just
would
like
go with, because here's the
Megidramon
thing.
better.
Here's the thing. Out of these four, my favorite is not Holy Dramon. Holy Dramon is the one I would have expected to win.
Yeah, I thought it would have done better.
Yeah, to me, this says that people were voting together and just not being loud or annoying with it.
Yeah, I think that people just like Megidramon more.
I don't know.
Meg, Meg.
I don't really hear much about McGee Dramon most of the time. Minus the, oh, it's actually Chaos Dukemon.
It's also I don't know, maybe it's more Tamer's nostalgia,
Maybe.
which also explained King Lungmon.
See, the order that I thought we were gonna get was Holy Dramon, God Dramon, Mega Dramon, Quinlongmon. That's the order I expected.
Okay.
I don't even know which of these four would be my favorite. I guess it'd probably be Quinlongmon, to be honest.
I think that's what I voted for. You know what? Yeah, you want the really, really bad take? Like the super, like
Sure.
I'm
Oh,
totally joking here. But I'm
go.
just gonna make a super hot take just to get YouTube cred. Megidramon's popular because Tamers, Azulongmon's second because also Tamers, Holy Dramon is third because movie 3 sucks, Godramon is fourth because he was only in the reboot. That's my awful take.
I feel like the fourth one isn't really that hot of a take, though. The fourth one, at least. Like,
Yeah,
are you really gonna argue that you're loving the new show?
I
Yeah.
mean, I think Godramon just doesn't have the doesn't have
Doesn't have
the
the street
I
cred.
would say that he doesn't have the exposure as the other three. Like I think that's fair,
Yeah, no, it is.
but
I really did expect
blaming it
Holy Dramon to win this one. Honestly, I did.
I kind of did too, but yeah, it's hard to say no to Mickey Drummond's
Yeah.
still cool enough.
And then we have products we've seen before. Standard, no, you don't need to use intermediaries for the adventure phone cases and the Tamer's graph art stuff. Minus the tote bag, which was apparently exclusive to the pop-up shop. I'm wafting on if any of this is stuff I would get. Because here's the thing. Once you don't need to deal with an intermediary, stuff becomes a lot easier to go, well, I'm going to order some stuff anyways. I could toss in one or two things. And then I also get the excuse of, oh, it's my birthday in 2 days. What bad decisions can I make that are okay? I made a different bad decision purchasing stuff earlier. It was not any of these, although I did consider the canvas art, to be honest.
Oh.
Instead, I bought a Pac-Man CD set.
Ooh. Ooh.
To be fair, it's the 3 Pac-Man Championship Editions games, which had some really good like techno type music. Like
I'm not gonna lie. When you said you bought Pac-Man CDs, I imagine an OST of the original game.
so see, I would have thought that the obvious choice would have been that I bought Pac-Man Fever.
Oh yeah, there you go. I forgot that was a thing. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm gonna send you the remix from a few years ago that they put out.
Oh
Well,
god.
one of them put out, the others
I
did.
forgot
So
about Pac-Man Fever.
the sad thing is it's a really fucking good song. I actually really do enjoy it.
I am happy to say that I'm not old enough to remember like being part of I wasn't part
Oh,
of
I was
Pac-Man
no,
Fever.
I wasn't part of that either. But yeah, yeah, and Ian even
It
points
was
out
funny.
he.
My kid actually had a Pac-Man phase. Like he was watching the cartoon and like is Pac-Man's a video game, right? Can you play it for me? And he actually made me go through a
Oh no,
few
you
screens of
mentioned this before. Like he was
Pac-Man.
like he was like shocked at it, like that
Yeah,
it was
like
good.
well,
Yeah.
he was not only well, I mean, I don't know how he took to the actual game because it's from the 70s, but he was shocked by the fact that like Inky Binky, Pinky and Clyde were actually in there. Like, oh my god, this is from this cartoon,
Yeah,
and
and
that even some of the musical cues ended up in there.
oh no, yeah, it's actually almost funny how they tried to make like a cartoon out of what actually existed to a degree.
It,
And,
it, it
yeah,
is. It's not good, but it they certainly
yeah,
do try to inject as much of Pac-Man lore as they
yes.
can wrench in there.
Oh, let's not use that word for Pac-Man. And Ian points out in our chat that like the Pac-Man CE music actually is really good music. Like, so I saw that like scrolling around by accident, and I was buying some Digimon stuff. I'm like, fuck it, I'm ordering it. Doink. Because yeah, um, yeah, some of the stuff the funny thing is it's super easy to not even think about the phone cases because I don't have any of the 3 models that these work with.
Right.
So those are like, yeah, I'm not buying a phone case as a display piece, but some of the stuff I actually like I'm looking. I guess it would be the canvas art if I were to get anything. I think, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to, but I considered it. And then we got DigiFes artwork. How great is that artwork?
It is really nice. It's also
Yeah.
really funny that I somehow missed this announcement, and then I just started randomly seeing
Oh,
fan
the
art
fan
of
art.
the
Yeah.
Tamers kids, the fan art of the Tamers kids in sailor suits. Like I don't know what's going on, but it's good, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna retweet it.
Yeah. Um.
And
Hey.
then I see it in the notes. I'm like,
Hey.
oh, okay.
See, it's canon. Leomon isn't dead anymore. We got the Tamers flag there. Impmon. Impmon always looks weird in these fucking art we're getting because they never quite know what to do with him. So
Grenamon's not dead anymore either.
Impmon's just like he has a hat and he has a hand going like eh.
Yeah,
And
not everyone is thrilled about this
Oh,
this
Ru- Ru-
motif.
well, only one character really isn't thrilled. Ruki.
Rookie is like
Everyone else looks happy or at least bemused. Like Yamaki
Rookie
is
is making
bemused
it
at it.
clear that she did not vote for this.
Yeah. And here's the best part. See, would you like my hot take?
Sure.
Look at this artwork. Where do you think they got the idea for this falling in the clouds art from?
Oh, you're going there?
Yeah. This
Oh,
is clearly based on the success of Try.
okay. Yamaki certainly has really good poise for falling from the air. He
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
chill MF. He is a chill MFer.
yeah, he's really chill. My favorite part though, and I don't mean it in insulting ways, the people who didn't see this art and then when the fan art started to appear were commenting on like the choices as being like deep.
Oh no.
Like
Oh, oh.
I saw people going, well, like, oh, Ruki's in a white dress, because she's secretly, a bright person, even though she tries to act. And Jury's the, depressing later in the
Mm,
series, so she has a dark dress. And it's like, no,
mm,
the fan artists pick these outfits because that's just what they're wearing.
yeah,
Yeah. And then we
yeah.
got the streaming details, and it's a geolocked stream that costs $40.
God damn it.
And of course, because it's an actual event that isn't like it's like a um, afternoon event, minus most DigiFests, which have generally been like noonish rather than a prime time event, which means it's like 6 a.m. for you and like 4 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will probably stay up and just catch the news as it goes. Because here's the thing, what I will deal with a paid stream to post and everything. I'm not then gonna deal with the VPN and blah blah blah. At some
Mm-hmm.
point, it's just one step too much in dealing with it. I'll
Yeah,
post the news
for
as it
sure.
shows up.
For
I'm just
sure.
yeah. I'll pay the $40 if it was unlocked, even if it was no subs, I would have done it. I'm just not gonna deal with it at that point. But hey, we got nice art. Yeah,
You'll catch the buzz on Twitter.
yeah. I'm
I
sure it's
just I just wish they I just wish we had some way to access the whatever narrate whatever the read through whatever they end up doing.
well. That's the weird thing is the service does allow outside the U.S. outside Japan. Just has to be like the stream just has to be set for that. So
Yeah.
it's always possible. It's just so early they haven't turned that flag on. So we may have a different situation in 25 days. So we'll see. And then the third project is record yourself singing the last part of Butterfly. And it's interesting. They don't tell you who's writing this on Digimon Partners, but it seems pretty clear it's Kinoshita because he's talked about the first time was at DigiFest and he saw everyone singing Butterfly
Mhm.
before. So, and I put up the romanized lyrics for if people want to try. And then some of the people who jump to conclusions like, oh, this is a honeypot to try to ban people outside of Japan from using Digimon partners. It's like, that's the stupidest thing I've heard. The
Wow.
you don't even send the video from Digimon partners at all.
Yeah, you uploaded to a different site.
It's actually box using a different interface. There's no
Yeah.
login or anything that has anything to do with Digimon partners at all.
I did like the video of him having them Agumon and
Yeah,
Megumon swaying along.
that was. Am I wrong? Okay, so here's the thing. Am I wrong? Or does he have to be like a small guy? Because like I don't remember that Mekumon plush being that big.
I thought they had one of them that was that big.
They, I guess Mekumon is that large, but for some reason I thought it was a bit smaller than that. So yeah, you
I
have you
mean,
have
they've
another week.
released many that were smaller than that too, but the Megumon comes in all sorts of
Yeah,
sizes.
yeah.
So does Agumon.
I just don't remember the Mekumon being that large, but it probably just. To be fair, it's been
Yeah.
4 years since we saw that plush again. Again, I think
And to be
it's.
fair, there's a life-size Agumon, sort of.
I think that is the life size Agumon.
Well, I mean the mascot.
Oh, you mean? Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, so submissions close July 12th. Go ahead and try if you want.
Tempted. It's like I totally could do it. I just don't know if I care that much.
I don't think I do. And then we get the products featuring the art. And there's actually we get the we already saw the early stuff about 2 weeks ago. Can badges, keychains are expected, clear files expected. I actually really like the can badge holder, which looks like a D-Arc.
Mm-hmm.
Although they're only doing one of them. Doesn't that feel like bad planning?
Yeah, they should do 4, I guess.
I think you
3
could
or
do.
4, depending on how you
I
feel about giving Jury one.
I'm saying I think you could do a minimum of 4, which would be the 3 and the gold one.
Oh yeah, the gold one would be good too.
Yeah. Then the bottle holders that are towels, which use the little figures from the eye catch.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Forgot
the
about those.
the rubber band towel, I don't get it. Like I get that you use it to hold a towel, but like, is it is there anything DigiFest themed on the rubber band, or is it just the package? I don't get it. Um, Then we get a DigiFes travel sticker, the souvenir pamphlet, which is always the big thing, which generally has
Yeah.
something. We get travel stickers, which will show up early, which this is part of why I wonder if it'll be a Tamers limited base store, because we've seen this stuff at limited base before.
Mhm.
And then some other early stuff that will be sold elsewhere. We get I like the flat pouch. That's the hand drawn card.
Yeah.
Um, then the glass magnets designed after the eyes of 6 popular Tamers characters and also Agumon. Gee, I wonder which one they expect to sell out first. And I actually like the rubber magnet hook things. Although I feel like you should have like Terriermon smiling if you're gonna give Lopmon the sad face or the generic face.
Yeah, it does look kind of copy paste.
Yeah. Then we have the card stuff we went over before. This is the type of stuff where good luck getting it, because yeah, good luck if you want it. And then China has been on a roll with exclusive with Digimon stuff lately. So first up, we get a bunch of T-shirts. I actually like these. They have a interesting style to them, I think.
Oh.
Although I do think there's an odd clash between cutesy and like stylized. But yeah, I kind of like them, to be honest.
Well, you can take your pick. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like the variety.
Then we have the mobile battery, which I would never buy a mobile battery with a design like this, but I'm amused that it exists. And then the last one, which I'm told it's postcards. It says postcards. I don't under. I assume that that's a translation thing, and this is collector's cards, because I don't see how you would mail these.
No.
Like,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's
But
like a
they
translation
did
thing.
like kind of postcardy style
Yes. I
cards for
actually,
like
I actually have to
trying
say,
stuff, so
for using basically mostly standard artwork, I actually like the front designs, to be honest. Although
they
a few.
come together nicely, yeah.
Now, here's the weird thing. Most of these feel like artwork we've seen, but a few of these, I'm like, have we seen that Sora art before? That looks kind of different. Like, have we seen her standing like that before?
That's the problem of all the generic-ish art is
Yeah,
you
it could
can't
have shown up
tell.
on one thing at some point,
Yeah,
and
like it's just
yeah.
something that came out at
But
some
he, but he,
shop
yeah,
in January.
but even like the Kabu Terriermon, I don't think we've seen that art before. It's like, or it's just different enough. The
Mhm.
Now that Greymon, that was on a fucking T-shirt. I know we
Oh
saw
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
totally.
know we saw that on a T-shirt at some point. And then we
Yeah,
got then someone did an unboxing of those minifigures, which we've talked about those. We don't.
yeah.
And the other minifigures, which we decided these were the Pinocchio Mon like wooden figurey things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
These are going to be about 1070 each, which is the same price as the others. I actually really like the look of these. Yeah. And then reference book updates. So we got, what was the final fucking name for this fucker? Gaomon Ito mode. Need to put a judge outfit on him. Uh, I it's the name isn't wrong, but it feels clunky, doesn't it?
Mhm.
And then we get Hagurumon, Gromon, Starmon, Hercules, Kabuterimon X, and with these 5, there's actually something unique. All the X Digimon are in the reference book.
Oh.
All of them. There were only 4 left, and then they introduced Ito mode, and now that's all there. I mean, I actually, because it's
Now
not
they have
like,
to introduce more of them.
don't tempt them. We're gonna get Gaomon GX.
Oh, they're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure, but still.
They're gonna get to the
Um,
point where the X antibody is ineffective, and they're gonna have the Y antibody now.
and then we got the Infinite Tide art before we did the show last time, but we also have the Tide of Dust now. I hope they do these for all the dim cards coming up. Pulsemon just going through the environment with the Digimon around him. This is
Yeah.
amusing as shit to me.
Yeah.
He clearly does not like the desert.
Oh, look, he's thirsty.
It would have been funnier if they'd put the desert one up first, and then you could say, "Oh, he just dove right the fuck in."
The left one, he's got plenty of water. I wonder if
Yeah.
you can get water out of a Togemon.
Hmm.
Something to
Wow.
ponder.
For some reason, like it didn't like completely dawn on me. There's three Togemons in that image.
Yeah.
That seems odd for some reason.
I mean, there's a lot of cacti in the desert.
Oh, I know, but like for some reason, even though like
I'm
I
not
had
sure if
looked
there's
at it,
cacti if the pyramids are there. I'm not sure if there's as much cacti in the Egyptian desert, but
to be fair, this probably isn't Egypt. This is probably a desert in the digital world just happens to have an Egyptian pyramid in the background.
true.
Yeah. And then we get episode art. So the social media art, which is Rosemon. That's an angle that was certainly chosen, wasn't it?
Yep.
And then Kenji Watanabe doing his best giant robo. Because one, at no point does this pose appear in the show. And
Yeah. Oh
two,
yeah.
this is 100% giant robo.
The giant, absolutely giant robo.
Specifically the OVA from the 90s.
Oh yeah.
That is
Yeah.
100% giant robo. I know because I had to see that pose 1,000 times working on the show, which has Joshua Seth. Um, yeah. And then we have questions, so you guys in the chat can start throwing them up. The first one was actually sent in before we got the news. Was that just last night, actually? Or was that the other day? About
It
the.
was over the weekend,
Yeah, I don't remember when.
so it's a holiday weekend. You can't expect me to keep
Yeah,
track of
so
all of
so
what
this
happens on
this was
each
this
day.
was sent in before we got that. Someone wanted to know, what does the Japanese audience think about 66 episodes? The handful of times I've come across it was basically, why does the Western audience think the show's ending at 66? And basically some Koei site somewhere said 66. And they're like, so there's going to be a new opening at 66, right? Was basically the responses that
They're
I've
half
seen, at
right.
least. Yeah, it's basically their conversation has nothing to do with the show ending. It has to do with when are they getting a new opening.
Well, we probably have an
Yeah.
answer now.
Let's see.
I would assume that at the very least we'll get a new opening at
Yeah.
67.
Then Galhart wants to know, do we have any murmuring at all of an English dub of the current anime? And if there wasn't, would you expect a cast change for the original VAs?
You know,
There's been at best one murmuring, and
yeah, I'm
there's been exactly one murmuring that I've heard of, and
honestly like,
it was actually the other day.
yeah, I've like lost all appetite for a dub of this because with the Philly sampler
Yeah,
dying,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'm like, I don't feel like I need this anymore.
Yeah, the one murmur we've had is actually because she died. Was someone commented, it they didn't know anything was wrong with her, and then she didn't show up for work, and the person saying it was Laura.
Oh,
So
oh,
so there's no actual murmurings, but it's the type of thing where you go, so what was she
that's
doing? That's not a
yeah,
murmuring. That's just, yeah.
yeah.
Outside of that,
I
there's nothing
can
you could even try to attach to Digimon, is what I'm saying.
yeah. They both do other
Yeah.
stuff,
Oh, they
so
do plenty of stuff. I'm just saying that's the
yes.
closest you could get if you were really trying to go, has anything been said? Um, I think this is one of the one Dev wanted to answer, but if she does, she can give me an answer. We'll do it next time. Favorite form of Imperial Dramon?
Like Dragon Mode. I like the original.
I actually like all three, but when I try to say Dragon Mode as like my choice, in my head, the model kit Dragon Mode appears.
I
Like,
don't have that,
you can't pick me, motherfucker.
I don't
Um,
have that trauma.
I can't. I think Fighter Mode is my favorite, but I think the look of Paladin Mode looks really stylish.
I
Like
just
the
like I tend to like Dragon Mode just because it's kind of unique among the finals. And because it does have that versatility of, the high speed going jetting around the world. That was a cool feature.
Yeah, that was a neat one.
I
and they
like
had
it just and the other two are like, okay, those are giant fighting dudes.
yeah. And then Jonathan wants to know, do we have any speculation on the next Vital Bracelet raid? Something evil.
It
I
could
mean,
be that Greymon that was the target practice.
yeah, I don't really have any guesses on that at all, to be quite honest. And this was one of those questions that I read and just went, "Wow, this is kind of a not good question." But let's go ahead. Why do all Digimon fans hate Pokemon? Vice versa? They don't. It's just
Generalizing much?
you're listening to the loud, angry people who don't
Yeah,
have anything better to do.
who are you listening to? Because I don't know any Digimon fan who hates Pokemon.
And very few Pokemon fans actually give a shit.
Right. Like
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
like
following like here if
get
any
out,
if
get
you
off Reddit.
know
Get off Reddit.
yeah, stop listening to any Digimon fan who straight up hates Pokemon.
Yeah,
Like just stop. That's not somebody you want to be spending your time listening to.
yeah. And then someone said, "I've been talking about that new Gundam movie that just came out for a few years, and did I like it? Eh, it. Eh. Hathaway wasn't that great, to be honest. I was very disappointed. I will say I give them absolute credit for having the balls to do a sequel to a movie that came out in like '85 and making no attempt to help anyone in who had not seen it. Like if you think Kazuna didn't help people in or Try didn't, well, I think Try did a great job of that, to be honest. But man, if you don't know Gundam, I would 100% never watch Hathaway. It's literally just,
Ooh.
hey, it's 13 years after the next movie and whatever. And
Are you talking about coming in as a newbie or coming in as somebody who one just kind of wants their Gundam flame reignited?
I would say neither, because one, if you're a newbie, the new movie does not explain anything. And if you're trying to get your Gundam flame excited, you don't really see a real Gundam fight until maybe the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Like it is basically it is a character who was young in prior stuff, basically walking around, thinking about the world and his place in it. And his place doesn't really mesh with where he was in the last movie, and the movie doesn't really give you the background to explain how he gets to this point. Like you look at who he was, who he is, what he's doing, and you go, even knowing he's where he is, and I'm trying to avoid spoiling anything for anyone who might watch it, going,
Mhm.
him doing what he's doing does not even make sense with the personality. I don't even understand how he would do it.
I I only ask that because you say it's Try was successful. Try was successful at reigniting
No, that's what I'm saying.
current fans. It is not at all for newbies, and neither is
But here's the
Kazuna.
thing,
I would
it
argue.
makes an attempt to explain stuff.
I
Like if
I
you go in,
guess
oh,
if you think Try is better for newbies than Hathaway is better for
oh,
newbies,
100%.
that is
100
really damning for
what
Hathaway.
oh,
I'll put
a
it that way.
a million percent. If you watched Hathaway without,
Wow.
here's the thing. If you went and watched Hathaway tonight, you would not know what the fuck is going on at all. Like, I borderline dare you to just watch Hathaway without having watched the four Gundam movies from the 70s and 80s that line up
Oh,
before it
jeez.
exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Like I kind of dare you to just watch, because here's the thing, they put those four movies on Netflix before Hathaway was there. But I kind of do dare you to just watch Hathaway, not anything else, and you tell me what you think of it next week. Because here's the
Good
thing.
thing I'm on vacation and won't have access to Netflix for most
Because
of the
here's the thing.
week.
Have been looking forward to Hathaway. I've talked about it a bit. It's I
Wow.
yeah
Anyway,
yeah.
moving on. We don't need to
Let's
talk
see.
about a bad Gundam movie.
AR. we have a question for you. When you do
Yes.
drop the show for your review site, do you see yourself coming back to it and finishing off the series at some point in the future when you can? Well, you're still gonna watch it though. You're just not
If
writing
it's
about it.
well, if it's on if they get the Hulu, if they get it back on Hulu, I will watch it. I'm going to cancel my Crunchyroll subscription though once this arc is over. So if it's only accessible on Crunchyroll, no, I will not be watching the series. If it's accessible elsewhere, then I'll still watch it and I'll still comment on it. That's sort of where I'm drawing the line.
Okay. And then,
It's not worth me paying extra money. We'll say that.
I mean, there's good shows on Crunchyroll you could watch.
I don't have time to watch them though.
Yeah, that's true. And then this is a question I love because it's the simplest answer ever. Someone asked, "You guys generally cover stuff from Japan in your country, but you do a lot from China. That seems harder than dealing with Spanish or other languages. Why?" The answer is actually very simple, and I think we've kind of gone over it before.
I
But
I feel like I could answer this one.
The Chinese audience just sends me stuff.
Also, China gets stuff.
Yeah, and and here's the thing, I don't know what the Latin Spanish countries get that would be unique. Do they get anything unique from what we get? I know they
Right?
have like their own Kazuna Blu-ray coming out, which is a collector's edition, has some bonus stuff in it, but it's not unique to.
Yeah, China's getting T-shirts and a mobile game.
Yeah,
Several mobile games.
yeah,
That's why we cover China.
yeah, and especially since they not only send me the images, sometimes they'll send me like minor translations of stuff, which gives me a better idea of what I'm looking at.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, like the thing about the figures being 1070. There's no images with that, but someone found the price in yuan, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I can throw that in article. There's
China got its own manga. Jeez.
manhua.
Manhwa, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's because it's very minus the time to get it in an article. There's very little effort for most of the China stuff. Even if there is unique stuff that's Spanish, we don't even know that it exists. As far as like products that are not just like they do get the gem figures and stuff like we do, where it's just a
Yeah.
sticker on the box or whatever.
Yeah. We're talking
Yeah,
original
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and stuff like, say, I know their version of the Blu-ray looks very nice from the packaging. It's not like I'm going
Hmm.
to import that and look because I have the movie on
I'd
Blu-ray
be
like
very
twice.
skeptical I'd be very skeptical to think that they would release something only in Latin America that doesn't cross over into the US.
Mm,
I mean original stuff, like
I don't know. See, I
not
could I could see them doing T-shirts or plushes or stuff like that, but it's easier in most of those cases to grab something made by a U.S. or Japanese company, I think.
that's right. That's what I
But
mean.
I don't like. I have to imagine at some point they've had their own shirts. Oh, where are those Nutella cups from years ago that people
What?
seem to love? Oh, you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, do you?
No, I have no idea.
There's these they use like the Saban artwork. They're like cups branded by Nutella. Like they must have come with uh,
Hmm.
Nutella cream or something in it, and then it's like usable as a glass cup. Maybe that was Australia.
Oh, I think I might have had seen those. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought those were. I don't think those were. I think whatever they came from was originally in English.
Okay. I have no idea. But yeah, that's why the China stuff's done because it's just all set. It's very easy to do stuff when it shows up at your doorstep, and it's just a matter of spending the time to collate it together. Basically, is the way I would put it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to figure out what stuff is. Someone has gone, this is this. Here's a link to a Chinese social media site that has more information. It makes it very easy. And Galhart wants to know, do we expecting a quote unquote Netflix adaptation of Digimon at this point? I mean, someone's going to try something at some point, but I don't really have any.
I don't think that's in their plans right now, unless you're referring to like a dub of the reboot. But I don't think that they'd be going in that direction right now.
Yeah, let's wait and
I
see.
think it's I think Toei's too well coordinated to say have this show in Japan and then have another
I mean,
different show
I
on
mean,
Netflix.
to be fair, they're doing One Piece with Netflix. Like they're literally doing live action One Piece with Netflix.
Oh, live action?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's
Well,
that's a little different.
Galhart
But
didn't say live action, but I assume that's what they mean.
oh, gotcha,
I assume
gotcha.
that's okay.
Yeah, I
There's
don't think
okay.
so.
No, they're saying
That's
okay. Wait, they're saying not live action. They mean more like Gundam. Here's the thing: Gundam Hathaway was being made without Netflix. Netflix just licensed it at the end and slapped their logo on the front. Like it existed.
yeah.
But yeah. Um. Yeah. Let's see. Jackie wants to know: do we think Babamon's strong, pure kindness model is a reference to Pretty Cure? I don't watch Pretty Cure enough to know.
Yeah, I thought those were
I would
kind of
assume
I
it
figured
felt like a generic catchphrase to me.
yeah, it felt like to me like they were trying to tie into Mimi's crest.
That's what I thought.
That's what I figured.
Yeah,
It might be. It's like there's a lot of Precure seasons. It might be match one of them.
yeah. If
It
it
wouldn't
does,
shock. It
if
would not shock me.
if it did match one of them, it feels almost more coincidental than important. At
Yeah.
least, yeah,
Accidentally copied Precure is something I can see happening a lot.
yeah. Um, and that appears to be it for questions. AR, where can they find you?
On Twitter, I'm First Agent ARP. My site is digimon.firstagent.net.
Do you have anything coming up that's worthwhile for anyone to check
N-
out?
Not this, definitely not this week. I am going on
You're
vacation.
escaping,
I am getting out of here.
and then on behalf of DevQ, AR, what Wikimon article would you like everyone to read?
Oh, you sprung this on me. I should have been ready for this.
To be fair, I didn't originally plan to do it. I just decided.
I had one for last week too, though. I wish I remembered what that was. I think just to make sure that everyone understands her level, that everyone needs to read the Babamon article.
Yeah,
Just so
that's
you know what level she is, and why she can keep up.
yeah, that's a good choice. And I can be. See, Matt the Magician said you should have just said Terry Bradshaw.
Oh my
Except
god.
there's a flaw with that idea. There
Yeah,
is
there
no
is no
Terry
Terry
Bradshaw
Bradshaw
Wikimon.
article.
He showed up more than Bancho Mamimon has. And I can be found at With the Will as always. We will catch you guys next time. Thanks for showing up. Bye.
Bye.